Well, hello, everyone. I'm so glad you're joining me today, and I certainly miss my regular students, miss seeing you in person and being able to guide you. And I also want to welcome people to this fairly short restorative practice, about a half an hour, if you've never taken a class with me before. What you'll need today is 2 blankets and 2 towels. So your towels will get rolled up, 2 of those, and then your blankets. You may not have yoga blankets, but basically end up with a blanket that looks like this, fairly, see how long it is on one side and short on the other. So 2 rectangles. And my hope is by guiding you today that this will be very supportive to your physical and mental health during this time that we're all going through. And I also always like to emphasize in my classes that if I'm asking you to do something, unfortunately, I'm not there in the room with you now to help give you modifications, but just know that these positions should feel really good. If something's not feeling good, then you just need to come out of it. If you know a position you want to be in yourself, then you're welcome to do that. And also, those of you that don't have yoga props, then we've got your whatever you got at home. If you do have yoga props, you can substitute a bolster for some of these positions with the blankets if you know how to do that. We're not going to hold as long as we sometimes do. A lot of these positions that I'm guiding you to, I'm specifically designing them to help bring more awareness to the openness of your lungs and healing to your lungs, and to hopefully also really help you to relax your nervous system. So let's go ahead and begin. And by the way, if you don't have your props yet, you can pause and go get them. So we're going to start with one of the blankets, and you're going to turn it so that the long side of the blanket is parallel to your mat, although maybe at home you don't have a mat, so you just have it laid out like this. And then your next blanket will go over that, over at the top. We're supporting the spine with this blanket, and we're supporting the head with this blanket. Do have your rolled towels nearby. Now, some people like to kind of have they actually like to have their sacrum up on the blanket. I actually prefer it more in the lower back, or sometimes I'll even have it more towards the mid back. You're going to have to play with this for yourself to see what feels best. And then the blanket supporting the head may need to be folded over for more height. So you could do something like this. But if it's fine, just how we started, then great, just support the head that way. Bring the soles of the feet together and place your rolled towels, I guess it could be blankets also, and put that under your legs. So we're really supporting the legs here. Now, if for any reason this doesn't feel like enough support, you could maybe get more props, whatever you have at home, just so you can support your legs higher. Or it may be necessary for some of you to bring your knees in like so. And then with the soles of the feet together and the legs supported, arms out a little bit away from the body. Notice if you need to make any adjustments here to feel more comfortable. And then close the eyes. Very open position. Really notice and feel the support of the props as well as the ground. The sensation of air on your skin. Clothing on your skin. Muscles of the body and the bones. The internal organs. And overall, how's your body doing today? If you have an awareness of challenges, how does this practice help support you in those challenges? Maybe just by having an appreciation of this body of yours. Even with the obstacles that could be present. Notice your thoughts as well as your feelings. And overall, how are you doing mentally and emotionally? And again, how does this practice help support the unfolding of your mind and bringing ease more into your emotional life? In this moment, there may be ways in which you can begin to release something that you're holding on to or invite something in that you're wanting to receive. And let's invite a deeper breath in, filling up the belly, the ribs, the chest. And exhale, maybe even with a sigh or sound, and just let it go. And do that for about 5 or 6 more breaths. And after the next exhale, you can start to release control of the breath and just let yourself surrender here. Bring a little more space and openness to the front of the lungs. If visualization is easy for you, when you breathe in, imagine you breathe in white light into your lungs. Besides practicing restorative and other forms of hatha yoga, I also practice Taoist yoga. And in Taoist yoga, there are different colors to the major organs. And white is the color for the lungs. Imagine you breathe in white light. And you exhale whatever it is that's being held that doesn't need to be there. You could also imagine when you're breathing out that you're breathing out sort of a dark smoke or a dark color of some sort, representing what you don't need. Tongue and jaw relax, throat open. Arms and legs surrendering to the ground, the props. And come back to the breath and have a fuller breath in again. Feel the belly expand, the ribs and the chest. Pause for a moment this time. And exhale, just let it go. Let's do that again. Full breath in. Pause for a moment. And exhale, let it go. And one more time. Now let the knees slowly come up. Allow them to rest inward just a little bit. Feet just a tiny bit wider, and get a little squeeze inward to your knees. And then rub them gently side to side. And walk the feet a little closer to each other. Inhale, both arms straight up. Exhale, right arm over the left. We just give ourselves a big hug. Rock a little bit side to side. Aim for sincerity with this big hug. I know I've been missing getting hugs, so I have to give them to myself. And let's switch the arms. Inhale the arms up. Exhale the other arm on top. Big hug. Rock side to side, knees and shoulders. Maybe circling the elbows. And then inhale the arms up. Exhale, arms down by your sides. And slowly turn to your left and press yourself up. So we're going to stay with the knees to the left here. You're going to stack the bolsters. I'm sorry, I said bolsters, the blankets, one on top of the other. So we're going to go into a little bit of a side stretch here. This is going to definitely open the outside of each lung. We're going to hold a few minutes on each side. If you like the sensation, you can actually take one of your rolled towels here. I like this more than some people do. If you don't like the sensation once we're in it, you might just have a single blanket there. You're also going to have to play with where you place the blankets. Generally, outer side of the rib cage, and then go ahead and bring the arm down and extend the top leg back and bottom leg forward. And then inhale your right arm into the air. And exhale the arm by your head. Now, if it doesn't feel good to extend the legs, you can keep the knees bent like so. If you like more stretch, then you reach your bottom hand up to your wrist and you just give a pull there. Again, we'll be here a couple of minutes. So again, knees can be bent or legs extended. And you're just focusing now on filling out the outer ribs here with your in-breath. And again, if it feels comfortable to visualize the white light, you can do that. If there's any reason it bothers your shoulder, rather than having the arm all the way up, you can do this, or even just have it down by your side if you need to. And again, not as long of a hold here. And really full breath, inhale, filling out the right rib cage. Exhale. A few more times. And go ahead and lower the arm down. And bend the knees. And inhale, come up. And let's just rotate around to the other side. Again, you're going to figure out exactly where you want the blanket there. And I'll just demonstrate. So for more height, it'll be something like that. Some people will just find that's too much pressure on the rib cage. Should not feel painful at all. And then the top leg can go back, the bottom leg forward, or maybe better just to keep your knees bent depending on your body. And inhale, left arm comes up. And the bottom hand can reach up to your left wrist or forearm. And give a pull there on your in-breath. A few minutes here. And filling out the left rib cage now with your in-breath. Really appreciate the capacity of your lungs to bring in fresh oxygen. And a few more fuller breaths into that left lung, left rib cage. And after the next exhale, just lower the arm, bend the knees, and let's slowly come up. So we're going to keep the blanket stacked like this. And I'm going to give you a couple of choices here. The first choice is to lie down with your navel just about at the center of your navel in the center of the blanket. But you might also adjust a little further forward or a little further back. And if having the head down feels like you need more support, you could take one of your towels here. I like a little bit more in this position, so I usually put a roll blanket or towel there. This is really going to help open up at the lower part of the back of the lungs. But if you don't like the sensation of pressure on the belly, I know some people don't, you could choose to do child's pose here, as long as there's not knee issues for you. And again, if you're on the belly, you might have to play with the adjustment of where you place that. And then filling out the lower back area, the back of the ribs with your in-breath. And exhale. So we spend about 3 or 4 minutes here. Feel as though, besides the lungs expanding, imagine like your kidneys can take in the breath too. And they can soften and release with the exhale. If you are lying on the belly, make sure your neck is comfortable with the head down. Again, you can possibly use props here in some way to support any issue here. Filling out the back of the body, lower back, back of the lungs with your in-breath. Softening into the front of the body with your out-breath. And again, deeper breath in. Exhale, let it go. If you chose to come to the child's position, then you want to come forward and maybe you want to stretch one leg out and then the other. If you're still on your belly, just come up enough so you can slide the blankets out. We're actually going to go into our last pose, which will just be a supported relaxation pose where I'll be guiding you to relax various parts of the body. Support the backs of the legs, backs of the knees or the backs of the thighs. And you want to unroll the towel if you're using a towel there. Just have that for your head. Unless you prefer to roll it under your neck, you could. See what feels best for you. Your arms out away from the body. If you do have something like a blanket or something warmer to put on, this would be a good time to do it, especially if your room's cold at all. Be sure this is a comfortable position again for you. Change things in the way that you know work better for you if this doesn't work for you. Once you're in your comfortable relaxation pose, close the eyes here. And again, first feel the support of the props, as well as the ground. And consciously let the body surrender to the ground and to the props. Relaxing toes, space between them, bottoms and tops of the feet, ankles, shins, calves, knees, thighs, backs of the thighs. Buttocks relax, hips and pelvis, lower belly, lower back, mid-back and mid-belly. Relax around the ribs and between the ribs. Chest, the upper back, shoulders relax, upper arms, elbows, forearms, wrists, hands and fingers. Relax the neck, throat, jaw and tongue, lips, cheekbones, nostrils, eyes, eye muscles relax, eyebrows and the space between them, forehead, sides of the head, back of the head. Relax the top of the head. Letting go. Again and again. Letting go. Returning to the breath again. Have a fuller breath in once more. Receive the fresh oxygen. Appreciate your lungs' capacity to receive that oxygen. Observe the effects of your practice here with me today. As you start to bring some easy waking movement back to the body, and eventually bend the knees and roll over and come to a seated position, allow the benefits of this practice to come with you. Take your time getting there. Eventually rolling over and coming to a seated position. Once you are seated, let's bring the palms together in prayer. Palms gently press into the sternum, the heart chakra. I have the eyes closed here, feeling into the heart center. And center of love and compassion. Give that to yourself. Also imagine you can send it out somewhere or to someone where it's needed. A nice full breath in again. And exhale, let it go. And the head bow to the heart as you honor the light and the goodness within you. Namaste. Well, it's my pleasure to be here with you today. And be well. And look forward to when I can actually see someone in person. Until then, peace and love.